There we go. We are back. That's right. We are back. This is Movie Reviews by Dr. B and
Mrs. B.
And I am, we are, what? Movie reviews are what?
We are independent artist scholars.
You're an independent artist scholar?
I'm an independent artist scholar.
I'm an anthropologist. And we have 3 children who are
adults, and we're baby boomers.
We're baby boomers, and we're married 31 years. There you
going
go.
On 32, May 27.
Going on 32. And we're reviewing 3 movies of Jack Black. Jack Black. Yes, 3 movies. Orange County, School of Rock, and Nacho Libre. 3 movies.
Trilogy.
And a trilogy. Thank you, Mrs. B. A trilogy. And what we're going to do is just, for the most part, I'm going to give thumbs up right up front. Thumbs up to all 3
we like
movies.
all 3 movies.
And
we're going to give thumbs up.
And this sets off the summertime. Don't you think it sets off the summertime?
Summertime. And when I thought about that, I thought, well, let's go, Dr. B. Summertime.
And
the living is easy.
Whoa! That makes me feel
Pick
good.
Time and everything.
There you go, Mrs. B. Now I'm feeling the vibe. Feeling the vibe. But and with the first movie, Orange County, which Jack Black really was a guest star in this movie because it's centered around Colin Hanks and him as a writer wanting to go to college to Stanford.
Stanford University.
In Orange County is about 3 hours away from Stanford, and the other actors, Catherine O'Hara from
Home Alone,
and Macaulay Culkin's mom. That's what I'm wanting to get out.
Beetlejuice.
Macaulay Culkin and Beetlejuice. And the counselor in this movie was Lily Tomlin, and Lily Tomlin is
a fellow alumni of Wayne State University, Detroit, Michigan, College of Fine and Performing Communication Arts.
There you
Wayne
go.
State University.
And the father of this played in it, John Lithgow.
John Lithgow, Bud Brumner, the Brumner family.
There you go.
Brumner.
And also Kevin Kline as Marcus Skinner.
Kevin Kline. Yes.
And Marcus Skinner.
Kevin Kline was a role model for Hank.
Colin Hanks, and he
Hanks' role.
And he found
as Sean Brumner.
Yeah, Marcus Skinner's book Straight Jacket in the sand at the beach in Orange County. He read it so many times, and that's how he got inspired to be a writer and wanted to go to Stanford. And the funny thing was, He didn't get into Stanford initially because of Lily Tomlin, the counselor, messing up his transcript. What happened there?
Miss Charlotte Cobb incorrectly sent in the wrong transcript.
There we go.
And he ended up not getting into Stanford. And then he got so upset that she was like, trying to push him off. They got into a scuffle, and she started screaming that he did something wrong to her.
Yeah, that was a wild scene.
That was a wild scene. She starts running out of the building. And that's Lily, on laughing and, just wonderful.
Classic actress. Classic comedic actress. Phenomenal talent.
Yes.
She was... you mentioned Laugh-In. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Laugh-In.
I remember her from Laugh-In, the show on NBC so much. She did so many different characters.
Yes, she did.
My gosh. Yes. And so Colin Hanks was trying to prove to the administrator and everyone that he belonged to go to Stanford, and his family was so dysfunctional. And then along comes Jack Black, Lance. He said, "I'll get you to Stanford. I'll drive you to Stanford." I'll drive you to Stanford in 3 hours. He said, "I'll get you there in 3 hours." And that's when Jack Black character blew up on the screen. I just thought it was over the top, and it was classic Jack Black.
Classic Jack Black.
And let me do the business. Let me do the business. So again, and then it sued.
Very spontaneous creativity.
He created, and you can tell they just let the camera roll on Jack Black because he was just blowing up on the screen right then. He just did all different types of acting and character roles, and right in that spot, and driving to Stanford. And what happened at the end, Mrs. B?
Well, it's a really, I don't know, a very, I was going to say kooky.
Yes, kooky. It's
But
kooky.
it's a
okay.
very odd together family. Basically, it was a family that was traditional, and then they broke apart. And Catherine O'Hara's role as Mrs. Brumner married another guy named Boogler, and they had ex marriages, and he went off and married a younger female, and they got back together. And so you have to go see the film.
It was
and
real.
Watch the film
Again. I say it was real life to
It was
a lot of
life to a
families,
lot of
and
families.
they just threw it up another level because that's what happens in real families, in real life. This is 2021. That's what happens. But this film was
All
in
kind of personalities.
2002, and it happened. It was just like that in Orange County, in LA, in a lot of areas, and just not in LA. It was across everywhere.
We used to
okay?
live in Los Angeles
Yeah.
County, San Pedro Palos Verde, and
we again.
travel
That's
up
the reason why I
Zuma,
say
Pacific
it was.
Highway. It was
That's the reason
fun.
why I say it was spot on.
It was
so
spot on.
again,
It was great.
was a great movie, and so we gave it a thumbs up, and I thought that was a breakout role for Jack Black. The next movie is School of Rock. There we go, School of Rock, and I'll just say, wow, that's when Jack Black's persona just went up another level.
Well, yeah, the artistic talent, the creativity, the fun he had, and all those things he imagined that's coming out of the top of his head spontaneously. No prompt to it. Pure creativity. And that's why School of Rock is pretty cool. For students, for teachers, adults, all generations. And art education and music education. So I encourage you to watch School of Rock. And, he gets in there, he gets a job. But he gets a job through somebody, his relative's name. And he's not supposed to take his job.
He was a substitute teacher, Dewey Finn.
And then he gets in trouble realizing that he's teaching this music. The kids are learning to play. Their parents discover that's all the creativity in music. They play in this band. They have a band competition. But he doesn't tell them that he is not his brother. His brother collects a check. Sarah Silverman plays the role. Which role does Sarah Silverman play?
The girlfriend of Ned.
girlfriend
The
of
girlfriend. She was so
DeMarco, Patty
anti.
DeMarco.
Yeah, she was so anti of everything.
Yes.
Sarah Silverman, for those of you who don't know her, she's a great comedic actress. I mean, she's a very great comedian.
She is. Yes, the producers on this was Richard Linklater. The director was Richard Linklater, producer Scott Rudin, Jack Black, as you know, as Dewey Finn, Mike White as Nell Slibney, Joan Cusack as Rosalie Mullins, which we love.
Joan Cusack was
Arlington Road
great
was good.
in the
I
movie.
like that.
She was ready to
I
break.
got open my neighborhood.
Yeah, she was the principal, and Jack Black, the character, knew he just took her to a little restaurant and just saw her character, and Joan Cusack was fantastic in this movie. And let me just say, one of the lines that Jack Black put in this movie was, "Let's stick it to the man."
Stick it to the man.
Let's stick it to the man.
And they said, "Who's the man?" I'm the man.
Anybody could
Maybe
be
he's
the man.
Anybody.
Whoever's in authority. Yeah, whoever's in authority,
be the man.
stick it to the man.
Stick it to the man.
So they ended up playing, getting the kids to compete. They didn't win the competition, but they performed outstandingly. And the soundtrack. What do you think about the soundtrack of the movie?
The soundtrack of the movie. If you go at the end of the movie and read the credits, it was really creative, well put together, seamless. That's what I like about it. And I like the character roles of the kids. They all had personalities. Very good cast. They act pretty well together. Each of them had talents. Even one of them was sewing costumes. And that's how it is in art classes, in art education, and music education classes. So a lot of fun. Watch the film. You're going to have a good time.
Yeah, you're going to have a good time and really see how the kids just were ready to blossom. And Jack Black found their creative spark, and all the kids blossomed by the end, and the parents were surprised. So that was a great movie.
Principal got loosened up when he went out to take her out for a little drink and refreshments, and she got loosened up, and then by the end she trusted him totally, but she realized maybe that wasn't a good idea. But after all, everybody came to the concert, and then that just kind of made it all cool for everybody, So enjoy it.
There you go.
Watch the film.
And then the final movie, Nacho Libre. 2006. And you can just tell this movie was really a far shot from the other two movies. It was filmed entirely in Mexico. And he was actually, what was his role in this movie?
His role was Nacho, which I thought was what in the world? But Nacho Libre, producer Jack Black and Mike White, also who plays in the other film School Rock. One of the so I think those two are a tandem partners. And so I was kind of surprised to see that. And some of the actors, director is Jared Hess. And of course, Jack Black is Nacho Libre. And then Hector Jimenez as Steven Esqueleto. Ana de la Reguero as Sister Encarnacion. And Darius Rose as Chancho. And Cesar Gonzalez with the gold mask on his face as Silver King as Ramses. And Moses Arias as Juan Pablo. And Richard Montoya as Guillermo. So I thought that was really, it reminded me of bringing back the vintage, the graphics in the movie reminded me of, growing up, and me and Eric 32 years ago, Dr. B 32 years ago, going to Mexican, I would say 33 years ago. Sorry about that, Dr. B. Go to Mexican Village in Detroit, Bagley and 18th Street, as one of our dates, and we had a great time. And the authentic, I like the music, and as you asked me at the end, the credits at the end of Nacho Libre was also pretty cool too. The music in Jack Black's, of course, I wouldn't expect anything less. He's a featured actor, but the music in all three movies are seamless. The costumes, the setting, did a really great job, as all the films are. Orange County, and Kathleen O'Hara, and all those types of actors. So I want to give a hats off and kudos to all the actors in all the films, as we call a trilogy. But Nacho Libre, authentic Mexico, the mission is pretty funny. Jack Black trying to impress everybody.
And how did the movie end up? The movie ended up where they won the competition, and he was really in love or fancy with the beautiful nun, and at the very end, Jack Black, the character, had a nice blue suit.
He loved that blue suit. And it was funny when he was a little
nice
kid.
Blue suit.
Because why did the blue suit stay the same?
And
even
when he
met his manager from the poverty area, and then they kind of got themselves together and got paid. But then when he got to cut the new suit off, he was stealing stuff to make a new suit. And then he has this new suit, but it's still the same, kind of like he's a kid. Chancho played the role of Nacho Libre if he was older. And so I thought that was funny. But for the orphans, he was getting food for them. And he says, we cannot make money like this. We must do better. And so he said, compadre, what are we going to do? And so they had to get out of this. It's a sin to wrestle in the missions and the monks. And so he realizes, well, okay, by the end, there was some type of, I don't know how you could have a romantic relationship with a nun, but I kind of.
One of the things, there was not much dialogue in this movie. But there was a lot of character rolling and movement, but there was not much. And they really appreciated, you can tell that they really want to get into Mexican culture. And that's how it was presented. The Mexican culture, the Mexican vibe. And that's what I really appreciate. I didn't expect much dialogue because they wanted to immerse yourself in Mexican culture in all of its essence. Religion, spirituality, the various villages and everything. And his heart was still there in wrestling, but his heart was there for the nun too. being a guy. So you could just tell. Yes.
And it reminded me, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
It reminded me of The Bridge to San Luis Rey, which is Thornton Wilder's book. And I read that book about 34 years ago. It's an excellent book in English literature, and it talks about missions and Catholics. It can be tragic, but it's really good. And it's an excellent book. And it reminded me of the authenticity of that. And this movie is really humorous, but it also touches on poverty. And so some of the things that you want to look at, but it's culture, it's Tex-Mex, it's all those things. It's indigenous Americas, which is a small part of my family, and Portugal, Spain, is part of our family as well. And so it was really heartwarming at the end, and you need to go watch the film. You need to watch the film. And I want to say a little bit to give out pub out to all the actors. What extraordinary jobs. Kudos to you. And I was surprised how Jack Black was paid less, even though he produced Nacho Libre with Mike White. He was paid less. I think he should have got paid more.
Well, that's neither here.
But I'm sure you're making it up in the royalties.
They made it up in the royalties, and again, they're making it right in here because we're promoting this 3-film collection.
3 trilogy.
So I'm not worried about the paycheck right now. It's about just the entertainment and just to have fun during the summertime.
Fair pay.
So we give a thumbs up to this 3-pack review of Jack Black movies: Orange County, School of Rock, and Nacho Libre. I am Dr. B.
And I'm Mrs. B.
This is Movie Reviews, and we are going to continue these movie reviews throughout the summer. As a matter of fact, we have 2 more movie reviews, so we're tying up the entire season number 1. So please like and subscribe to our movie reviews because we're wrapping the season 1 up.
Season 1.
What do you think about that, Mrs. B?
I think it's pretty cool and nice.
I
think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I think so, too.
This is real life. Married couples, baby
I
boomers.
think it's going to be great to wrap up with 15 shows. Wow.
It's been a pretty cool, really nice, great partnership.
So there you go. This is Movie Reviews by Dr. B and
Mrs. B.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to be back in show number 14 soon, so stay tuned. We out of here.